got to fight this guy. Oh, you got injured in camp. You lose to that guy too. Now you're set back when you could have been a champion.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of like weirdness going on with possibilities and, you know, just luck, bad luck and good luck.
Bad luck and good luck. Timing, I think, is a big.
How is something like this allowed to happen? How is Jake Paul allowed to fight Gervonta Davis? It's completely unfair. It is completely just, I don't
see as Jake Paul, from YouTuber to professional boxer, has been filled with massive paydays, bold claims, and fiery rivalries. But this time, it's not another fighter who's calling him out. It's Joe Rogan. The commentator and podcast legend recently put Jake Paul on blast, accusing him of being a weight bully after rumors surfaced about a potential fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis.
Facing off each other, like, and they know, like, there's no rescue every 5 minutes.
Yeah. And you go into it knowing you're either getting knocked down or submitted, or you're doing that to the other person.
Rogan didn't hold back. On his podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience, he expressed frustration over what he called a ridiculous mismatch that only benefits Jake Paul. Jake's been fighting smaller guys his whole career, Rogan said. Now he's calling out Gervonta Davis, a man who fights at lightweight and walks around maybe at 140 pounds. Jake's a cruiserweight.
If you want everyone on the planet to look at you and take you seriously and give you credit as a boxer, you have to take on challenges that are real. You have to go up against someone that keeps you up at night, against someone that gets you out of bed in the morning to go for a run because the fear of them beating you down is real. Not going up against someone that is so small. If you were to go up to this guy in a bar and try and start a fight with them, people would look at you and say one word: whoa, 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 stop being such a bully. Leave him alone. You are way bigger than this guy. And that's clearly what we have here. It is ridiculous.
That's not a fair fight. That's a bully move. Jake Paul has built his boxing career on spectacle. His early fights against fellow influencers like Anderson Gibb and Nate Robinson were sideshows. But when he knocked out former MMA champions like Ben Askren, Tyron Woodley, and Anderson Silva, he forced the sports world to take notice.
They should also have like the size of the ring, the size of the glove, all that stuff. Particulars should be in the contract. But I would probably look for one thing that is not the common thing to have in a contract if I'm Tank. A ladder. A ladder. Can I get a ladder? Somebody? You know what I mean? Hey, look, if he hits him on the chin the way he can punch, Jake might be doing a dance. You know what I mean? Not voluntarily either. But we'll get into that more later. The thing that I'm talking about right here is what you...
Love him or hate him, Jake Paul became a legitimate draw. Someone who could generate millions of dollars in pay-per-view sales and fill arenas. However, as Rogan pointed out, most of Jake's opponents have been smaller men past their primes or with little professional boxing experience. You can't keep fighting guys who are older, smaller, and expect people to call you a real boxer, Rogan said. If Jake wants respect, he needs...
Really, you couldn't ignore it. We understand the talent difference, the experience difference. We understand all of that. But the size, the pure... And we understand small guys can beat big guys. We just saw Crawford do it to Canelo, but, you know, a little different. The size difference was, I mean, it was eye-catching, jaw-dropping. And it made me think, and I'm going to ask Richie, our man...
to fight someone his own size. And that's where Gervonta Davis comes in. Tank is one of boxing's most explosive talents, a pound-for-pound powerhouse known for his knockout power and precision, but he fights at 135 pounds, while Jake competes around 200 pounds. When rumors spread that Jake Paul wanted to fight Gervonta Davis, the internet exploded. Fans and analysts called the matchup absurd.
The truth, Gervonta Davis couldn't get up for Lamont Roach. And what does that mean? It means that he could not get inspired. that he was not motivated to fight Lamont Roach, that his mind was not in a place where it was like, yeah, okay, let's get it, and he was going to war with Lamont Roach. He was going through the motions with Lamont Roach during the training camp and could never really get himself motivated to really give the best of himself against Lamont Roach, and that probably affected him during training and during the fight. And that
Rogan was among the loudest voices, calling it dangerous and unethical. Gervonta is a destroyer, Rogan said. But let's be real. He's 5'5", and Jake Paul is 6'1". Jake walks around at 200 pounds shredded. That's not a boxing match. That's a circus act. The problem, Rogan emphasized, isn't just about entertainment. It's about fighter safety. If Jake really wanted to prove himself, he'd fight a cruiser.
Go back and forth with your soft ass. You rather pop to me on social media than get in that fire and get embarrassed. I get it. Peace and blessings upon you, cuz. He says, the people got your chest out so bad. You talking like you a killer, forgetting that you the one that runs, bitch. I'll be bring the fight to you. This dude, a made-up character. Quote, blessings upon you.
Cruiserweight or light heavyweight with a similar background, Rogan explained. But picking a lightweight champion to move up several weight classes is just wrong. Jake Paul, never one to back down, responded to Rogan's criticism through social media. In a post on X first. I didn't go looking for him. If he wants to fight, I'll make it happen. Paul argued
why he's fighting YouTube sensation turned professional boxer Jake Paul, who has 12 wins, 1 loss, no draws, 7 wins by way of knockout, opposed to fighting against the likes of his peers who are well accomplished and superstars in their own right for legacy fights like Shakur Stevenson, like Teofimo Lopez, like Devin Haney. Why he's not
argued that Gervonta Davis himself had previously teased the idea of fighting him, claiming that Tank wants a big payday and knows I'm the money fight. In an interview, Jake doubled down. Everyone said I was scared to fight real fighters, so I did. I fought Tommy Fury, I fought Nate Diaz, and I'm going after Canelo one day. Gervonta's a beast, but if he really wants to test himself, I'm here. But critics like Rogan and
interested in those fights. And he gets real, right? He gets real, and only thing we could do is salute it, right? Because he's saying, I never told y'all I wanted to be a world champion. I never told y'all I wanted to be undisputed. I got into this for myself and my circumstances to escape from my circumstances. And that's real. We can't blame him for that. We hold him in high regard because the statements he's made and misled people when he said he got a hit list that
boxing purists weren't buying it. Money fight or not, Rogan said, there's a line between entertainment and exploitation. Gervonta Davis shouldn't have to fight a man 60 pounds heavier just for clout. Joe Rogan has always been outspoken about fighter safety and integrity. On his podcast, he compared Jake Paul's call-out to
boxing is going to sing his praises like a hero. Though Jake Paul is definitely appreciated by the boxing world when it comes to what he is giving to the sport, especially women's boxing. Okay, I mean, it goes without saying that Jake Paul, an MVP, has added to the sport of boxing. But Jake Paul, the fighter, people are over his shit. There's a huge amount of boxing pugilists in the boxing community who's over his shit. And if Gervonta Davis stops that, if he is the one who stops this whole train, knocking out Jake Paul,
a heavyweight picking on a featherweight. It's not that Jake doesn't have skills, Rogan admitted. He's improved a lot. His jab is sharp. He has real knockout power. But fighting someone like Gervonta is like bringing a shotgun to a knife fig. Rogan also highlighted the dangers of massive weight differences in combat sports. When someone who's used to fighting at 135 gets hit by a 200-pounder, it's a different world. The human body can't absorb that kind of power. You can't play with those. He praised Jake Paul on blast, accusing him of being a weight bully after rumors surfaced about a potential fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. Rogan didn't hold back. On his podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience, he expressed frustration over what he called a ridiculous mismatch that only benefits Jake Paul. Jake's been fighting smaller guys his whole career, Rogan said. Now he's calling out Gervonta Davis, a man who fights at lightweight and walks